We landed here on October 5th, 2018, and it was in complete struggle for us. We left everything. We had nothing that we came with other than our clothes. And my mother was physically and emotionally, financially going through a lot of struggles. She got injured on her job, and she injured her entire left side. Mom, you want to talk a little bit more about that?
Yes, without going into a lot of details, but it was a severe injury. It left me emotionally, mentally, and physically challenged.
We went through 5 months of struggle, and the struggle was real. We were not telling anybody what we were going through, but we were sleeping on the floor with my sister and her family. We were going to food banks at least 2 to 3 times out of the week, just trying to get food in the house to feed everybody. We were pinching pennies together, but we were still staying faithful, coming to the ministry, coming to services, coming to the Bible studies, and paying our tithes and our offerings. And it wasn't much, but you know, it's much when you put it in the master's hand. And so we just kept giving that little bit and staying faithful. And eventually we got to the point where God said, I'm going to turn things around for you. And we didn't know that he was going to literally bring us to a desert, spiritually to a desert and literally to a desert. But in the desert, he sprung up a well of flowing water that has been living in our lives since that day. From us sleeping on the floor for 5 months, going to food banks, not knowing how we were going to make ends meet, God gave us a phone call that changed my mother and myself's life. We were able to move into our 2-bedroom condo here in Las Vegas. We received our keys on the 7th. March 7th. 7 marks the number of completion. And so the 7th day, we got our keys that day, but I also was able to be interviewed on the CW Las Vegas News, and I also performed my first song and single off of my album. This is just the beginning. This is just a foretaste. It's kind of like going to a restaurant. You get the appetizer before you get the main course. That's all this is. This little bit that God has blessed us with, we've given it back to him, and he's breathing on it. And it is allowing us to be able to give back to a ministry that has been pouring into our lives spiritually and emotionally, and it's blessed our lives and healed our bodies physically, and now financially God is starting to open up the floodgates. So I encourage you to reach for the stars, to not give up when you think all I have is just $1. Put that dollar in God's hands and walk it up there like it's $1,000. And keep giving to the ministry. Keep being faithful. Keep being faithful over the few things that God gives you, because He will turn your situation around. I just want to say to Mountaintop, good morning, because weeping only endures for a night, but joy comes in the morning, and morning is here. Morning is here. So continue to reach, Mountaintop. Continue to reach. Good morning.